Last week, Australia made history as the first country in the world to enforce a total social media ban for kids.
Under the new legislation, anyone under the age of 16 will be prohibited from making accounts on sites like Instagram, TikTok, and more. So we called in the big guns. Professor of Advanced Media and a resident at the Newhouse School of Public Communications, Shelly Palmer is here to help us break it all down. Now, Shelly, we know several countries are already implementing social media bans, but Australia takes it a step further. Can you talk about how they plan to actually enforce this social media ban?
You know, that's a great question. They're obviously going to try and age gate these apps, meaning you have to be a certain age and be able to prove it. Problem is, a country like the United States, you need to be 18 years old to have the authority to make a legal contract with anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see how they absolutely enforce this. I think the most important thing is that parents in Australia and everywhere have to get behind this law. If you believe your kids are in danger before they're 16 years old, or if you understand how dangerous the internet can be, then parents have to get involved. You can't legislate parenting, if you will, but they're going to try, and and I think for good reason, Tashani. There are lots of things about the internet right now, and specifically social media, that need to be looked at. From bullying to body dysmorphia to mental health to inappropriate content for kids.
And you're right, Shelly, absolutely. We hear the cases of sextortion with young teenagers and then committing suicide. But shouldn't parents be the first line of defense, not the government?
I think that parents should be the first line of defense, and unfortunately, you can't be with your kid every minute of the day, and this really is more dangerous than I think a lot of people give it credit for. It's highly addictive. We know the dopamine hits are real. We know that this is incredibly pleasurable to do when it's pleasurable, and we also know for a fact that kids will figure out a way. So yeah, parenting is the first line of defense, but regulation of some kind is very important. And I think, young minds are not, 12-year-olds are not young adults or little grown-ups. They're 12-year-olds.
Not able to get through it. Shelly, we know Instagram and Meta, they already have a policy in place. Are they trying to publicize those teen accounts? How's this different than that, and do you think it could happen here in the U.S.?
Look, I don't think it's particularly different than the teen accounts, with the exception that this will be a restriction truly at the age of 16, which, makes some sense. Could it happen here? We need some kind of regulation. I think the social media sites want it. What that should look like, this is the most important thing about the Australia case. We here in the United States have to look at this and look at social media closely and say, are we satisfied with the way social media is treating our children, and is it safe enough? And if not, what do we want to do about it as parents here in the United States? It's an important talking point, right? The idea that there's online predation, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's devastating. What happens all the time is body dysmorphia and bullying and mental health issues, and there is a ton of inappropriate content. What do you want to do about it? If you think you can handle it, then handle it. But if you think you might want some government regulation, now's a good time to start talking about it. And Australia's leading the way. I don't know that the United States is going to follow, but we should all be a little more responsible about how and what we expose our kids to, and how we expose our kids to it.
All right, Shelly, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Shelly.
See you next time.